What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Non-Fungible Guys. I'm one of your hosts, NFG Ryan. And as always, I got my best friend ever, the broest of bros, Devon C. Codgerton. How are you doing, buddy?
Thank you for introducing me, Ryan. I really appreciate that.
No problem.
I didn't know what I was going to say this week, so you know what? I'm glad you said it for me.
You're welcome. I went with the C. I went with the John C. Codrington.
Yeah. I like that. Just like John C. Riley. Just as good as he is. No. Yeah, and I guess you can say we're best friends, but I don't know. Whatever. We'll figure it out later.
I mean, we'll say acquaintances that record stuff together then.
Yeah. Okay. Did we say what the podcast is about?
No, it's about crypto, NFTs, and everything in between. We like to go all over different blockchains, and basically nothing we say is financial advice or expert advice either. We just we're learning the space as we go.
Or expert advice.
I mean,
very true.
Yeah, I mean, we're just two dudes going through the space, learning everything. It's been, I guess, where this episode would be dropping right around our 1 year. It's our 1 year anniversary. We just hit it,
really?
Basically, right? Yeah, I didn't even realize. Yeah, on Thursday's, the 15th?
Yeah.
So, yeah, this would be episode, our 1 year happy anniversary, buddy.
All right, cool. It's pretty special. Then we got Space Otter Society.
Well, what an intro. So, let's welcome for this episode.
Sorry, I was waiting for you to do it. I should have just let you do it.
You just stepped all over the intro again.
That's par for the course.
Fair enough. All right. So this episode, we do have a guest. We have Chris from Space Otter Society. And I'm very excited I aped into this project after some F-35ers were chatting in the Discord and kept just pumping it. I think it was Massa and Wanj just kept pumping it. And I was like, you know what? F it. I'm gonna jump in and mint. I think I ended up minting 4. And then I woke up like 5 a.m. the next morning. I'm like, all right, let's go for that odd or not and go for and minted 2 more. So
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Welcome, Chris. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. I'm a little jealous I don't get a special name introduction like Devon, but that's okay. We'll work on that for next time, guys. It's all good.
Ryan kind of just did a quick motion because we didn't go over this before, and I don't know, I completely forgot it, but so I'm Devon, not Devon, but you know.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
No, don't be sorry. Okay. Please
don't be sorry. Chris, don't be sorry.
It gives me elated when someone always
when you did that, I was just you basically gave Ryan a gift. So don't be sorry at all. Yeah. When Ryan was like, yes.
I should have introduced you as NFG Ryan and Devon.
You should have. Yeah.
Damn.
That would be good for the intro. I take it.
All right. So
what a mess. What a mess of podcast.
Chris, thank you. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I always love to take any opportunity I can to talk about our project. And Ryan, specifically, I know you've been, I've seen you in the Discord. You're in there most days, dropping a comment here and there, chatting with us. And so, just seemed natural to say, let's do it. Let's talk.
Yeah.
I always love seeing that when, folks that are in our Discord or, they're active in other areas of the space. And, it's just kind of, I think it's the best part of this whole space is how you get to know what other people are up to. It seems like most people are kind of up to something. If you catch my drift, it's most people have a little something going on that they're working on in the space. And I think that's really fun.
Definitely. It's
nice.
It's been fun. I mean, yeah, like you said, I'm all over this space. I try and pop into especially the Discords that I'm newer in, or I really want to be a part of. I do pop in and try and, be active. I don't want to, especially, some of the projects is you need to be a certain level. You need to do this, but you guys have a great community that you've built. So, and I was late to the game. I literally came in, I think you guys were already 5 days into minting when I jumped in.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I would say we actually had a lot of people like you. I was surprised too because we spent all this time, several months building up a community, and then the day of mint, and then following, we had kind of a slow start to the mint, and eventually minted out. But we met a whole bunch of new people along the way that joined our community and have honestly become some of the strongest members of our community. So that's been super interesting to watch that kind of like play out. I don't think any of us on the team anticipated that, but here we are.
Yeah, it was fun. I think I minted, and then within 36 hours, I don't even think it was that much, you guys were sold out. So I was like, I got in there right at the time. Perfect time.
Yeah.
So what's up, Devon?
Sorry, I was a little bit distracted. There was a cat that was doing what it was supposed to, but I took care of it. Yeah, but you know what? I'm back. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Nothing all day. And the minute I start doing something. Okay, Chris, what's up? I got a question for you. We'll start off with question 1 because I'm the structure guy. We got a couple of questions. I guess, what is a group of resting otters called?
I believe it's called a raft.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. No, we've got some of the people in our Discord. They love looking this stuff up. And actually, it's funny you mentioned that specific thing because we just had there's a special role in our Discord called they just renamed. Well, they kind of named themselves what they were already named, which was ironic. The Space Otter Society, the SOS Council. And nice. This is a special role for specific holdings. You have to have certain holdings to be a part of this council. And the first order of business was to change their name. So whatever they wanted it to be, they got to discuss for a few days, put up some ideas, and then vote. And one of the ideas was the raft because of that very thing. So yeah, it didn't quite make the cut.
It did not,
but it was a good option. It was a good option. I liked that one a lot.
This guy's the real deal. I like it.
Yep. What's winning right now? Is it still my pick?
The council won.
The council did win. Okay,
the council won.
Perfect.
Yeah. Second, a close second was the Illuminators, which was super clever.
That's so good.
Yeah, it was super clever, and we'll talk more about it, I'm sure, as the podcast goes on. But you guys better believe that I'm planning on using that in the future of this story. We're going to be using the Illuminators, especially since it was almost, it wasn't quite the majority; it was a minority within the voting. But it was one of the last two options. So there's plenty of Illuminators floating around that wish things were, kind of a different way. And I love that kind of story element. Yeah, I love that kind of story element.
Smell a villain.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's get into the basic project details for those that are like, okay, what are we talking about here? Let's describe the project. What is the Space Otter Society?
Yeah, it's a art and utility focused project at its core. So we are art first, and we try to show that by putting forward really, really solid, great detailed art. And so we can talk through some of the stuff that we've put out in the near future tonight. And we try to bring our art to life in a couple of different ways. So one is by creating a lot of value for our holders, right? I think if you get a really nice looking piece of art, you're going to enjoy it even more if you know that it kind of means something to you, whether that's on a monetary, financial level or on a sentimental level, emotional connection type thing. And we try to do all of that. So it's an art utility focused project, and we have a pretty, I would say, expansive utility ecosystem that kind of all intermixes and works well together. And then we also have a kind of interactive story element where our holders are, they already started to before we minted, but now our holders are going to be going through kind of the Space Otter Society story and writing it as they go. And so kind of building that connection as time goes on.
Nice.
Love that.
So the collection size is like
3750. We were able to sell out despite the efforts of the bear market. We were able to sell out, and because of the support of our awesome community. And our price was 65 ADA when we sold out.
Sorry to cut you off for a second. Right, I were talking about that. We were thinking like, you guys had a slower mint start, but like you pushed ahead. What do you think it was? Like everyone is talking about this, and like it's the bear market. Things are kind of crazy. Like, what do you think it was for your project that like kind of like turned it around in maybe like 2 or 3?
I think it was a combination of things. And I'm not, when I say the next part of this comment, I'm not putting any other projects down. And I'm certainly not putting us on some kind of pedestal. I just am stating kind of the fact of what you asked me of what I think it was.
Yeah.
Initially, we minted out about half of our supply. And a lot of projects around us didn't even come close to that. They've been minting like a couple hundred, or even less in
or
some
even
cases.
less. Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
And so for us, I think, we entered this project knowing that the market was not good, and it might not be nice to us. And so we said, okay, what does Cardano need? Cardano has a lot of projects that go to mint. They don't even have their utility announced before mint. They don't have a white paper. They don't have a professional appearance. Their Discord is a mess. And again, not putting anyone down specifically, but just saying we honed in on those things and we said, if people are going to invest in a bear market into a project, they need to know that that project is legit, looks legit, feels legit, has been well thought out. So I think that's what got us to that first push. Was people knowing and feeling that about us, because we put out really high quality art at that point to show that we weren't, we weren't going anywhere. We clearly spent the time and the funds, on the art ahead of time. And we had our white paper out like 2 months before we minted, explaining every single thing that was going to happen after mint and how it was all going to work together. And then I think after mint, we did a few things. I will admit we had like that day when we didn't, when it kind of went to halfway, all of us were a little bit like, dang, we put in all this time, effort, and work. And it was a labor of love. Like we all fell in love with this project even more as time went on. And, to see it kind of go to half, we know what that means in this space, right? Like we know for the most part what that means. And I think all three of us were kind of feeling that for about maybe 12 hours or so. And then we started to kind of rally amongst ourselves, and we started talking, okay, what's our battle plan? We talked about this possibility. What can we do? What are we doing now? And so we started to do some things. One, our minting partners, Ada Anvil, they have a really cool new tool, which is basically like a referral link. If you send someone else your link, they can mint for a discount and you get the difference. So whatever, like you still pay, 65 ADA for our mint. But if they use your link, then you get, the discounted rate. You get like 6.5 ADA into your wallet. So we kind of sent out the referral army, to give people something to talk about. That was kind of step one.
Existed.
Cool. Yeah, it was super. I mean, it was new to us, and I think they'd only used it in a couple other cases before that. And they even posted when we went live with it. They kind of posted about it on their Twitter, like, "Hey, we've got this tool, and this is a new tool for folks building in the bear market. If you need to kind of do this." So we had we used that. We had like a mint contest where, we gave a lot of stuff away to folks who were minting, to who were sweeping our floor, to try and keep our floor price near our mint, to entice minting. And then I think this is going to sound surprising, but I think that we had two big things that I think really helped us. One, we had planned the spaceship drop already, and the spaceship looks freaking awesome.
Yes, spaceship is pretty dope.
Yeah, it's a 3D animated asset, and we released a preview of it and said you need to hold the following in order to get this, and you need to hold them by this day to get it. And then people started minting like crazy when we put that out. And we also had what we've been calling the FOMO bot, which was provided by Hazel. And Hazelnet, they set up this bot where anytime a new mint was done, that new Otter would show up in our general chat as it was being minted in real time, instantly.
I wanted to bring that up because I absolutely love that. That sitting in the Discord and watching people go nuts when a knock got minted, or like you could go back and be like, oh shit, there's mine minted right now. Like I just got that one, and everyone's like, oh, congrats, going crazy. That was absolutely that was super fun to add that.
Yeah. And I think,
sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Since I'm hanging out in Discord, I can second that. Ryan called me and talked to me about that, and that was pretty damn cool. You're really touching on it's interesting. Like you really kind of got together and pulled out a couple of really, really cool things like that mint, and then the referral code. And I'm wondering if what the last thing you might say is if you have one more catalyst that you think pushed you over the edge. But yeah, that mint indicator or whatever was really fucking cool.
FOMO bot was awesome because it definitely gave you FOMO.
Yeah, that was great, and that was an offhand. We did not have that one planned ahead of time. That was an offhand suggestion by our bot guy. He's a guy in our Discord named Selkies. He was just like, "Hey, I can get this going for you." And we were like, yeah, sure. We did not understand the impact it would have on psychology, but we've had so many people after that tell us exactly what you just said, Ryan. They said, that was like the most fun they've had in NFTs in a really long time. Just kind of hanging out for those few days, watching mints come in. Sometimes you'd see someone, dropping like 15, 20 mints, and everyone would go nuts for, the next hour. And so it was just super fun to hang out and observe that. And yeah, we had a blast. I think the last catalyst was the spaceship drop, because even though we weren't minted out, we had a pretty stable floor. People were still minting, and then we dropped that, spaceship requirement, and we had the built-in mechanic of you need an Otternaut, which is the rarest type of otter, in order to get it. And the floor for Otternauts was like 4 or 5 times mint price. So even though the floor was lower than mint, people were like, well, I still have if I mint, I can get an Otternaut for 65 ADA instead of like 250 ADA. So they would just start, kind of taking the gamble. And I think it tapped into, we didn't mean for this to happen this way, but I think it did tap into that DGen mindset of like, I'm going for it.
100% DGen. I woke up the next morning after minting 4, and I was like, I got a bit of ADA left. You know what? I'm like, I got to go for the next 2, and it total DGen, and it paid off. That's when I got my Otternaut. So
nice. I'm happy you got it.
Yeah,
I'm happy you got one.
Yeah, it was fun. I was like finally minting success.
Yeah, and I think that was a fun part of it too, is like watching the community cheer each other on whenever like an Otternaut got minted. People were like, hell yeah, and people were like counting down how many were left in the collection. They kind of figured it out pretty quickly and easily. Yep. And then they were like, oh, there's only 50 left, so yeah, it was super fun.
I definitely want to give a shout out to Tommy from F35 podcast. That I went to bed, and like I said, I had minted 4. He hadn't even minted yet. I woke up the next morning, I'm going through Twitter. This guy shared his screenshot. I was like, this guy had 50 otters. I was like, holy shit, talking about DGen whale there.
Yeah, he came in and he minted like 1 or 2. And then he was like, hang on, I got to get some more ADA. And then the next thing he did, I happened to be on when he was doing this. And Masa and Wong and Grimmy were like already going nuts in there since he was in there minting. And he sent the screenshot of like 2,200 ADA showing up into his wallet. And then literally just a stream of mint started flowing in, and everyone started going crazy. So it was super fun.
Crap.
Yeah, super fun.
He's fun, man.
That's pretty good. Do you think that other projects are gonna start using this fumble block? Has anyone else talked to you about that? Are they aware of like kind of what it did? Because that could change things right now.
Yeah, I don't know. We definitely had a good number of people comment on it. I would say we've not had too many people specifically mention it in terms of wanting to use it and where did we get it. But I know it was shortly after that, it was like advertised, like Hazel advertised it on their Twitter that they can do that. They actually added for us, like on the fly, they added the profession so that, we have multiple professions within the otters, and everyone wanted the Otternaut. So at first it didn't even have that. And one of our community members suggested it. And I pitched it to Selkies, who talks to the Hazel creator. And he's like, oh yeah, I can ask him. I don't know how quickly that's going to get done, but I can definitely ask him. And within like an hour, it was there. And the Hazel guy loved it, and he was like, yeah, this is a great feature. Like if your project has a rare trait or something, we can build that in so people can see them coming in. So I hope other projects use it.
Yeah.
Because that would be so fun, That'd be so fun.
At this point, they'd be silly not to use it, honestly.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
You guys are kind of like the case study for like minting in the bear market for ADA. Like when you think of all those things you did, because you're right, man. You're like, everyone's talking about how you can, like, we didn't even mention like staking, we'll get there, but like everything that you guys are talking about is like ready now, as opposed to like the mint and then wait.
Well, a lot of people kind of use a mint as kind of crowdfunding a little bit too, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's okay, now we got the funds to do what we've talked about. And I feel like that's kind of a downside, like you were saying. Let's have this ready to go, and then we can mint, right?
Yeah, it shows a level of commitment, like you said, though, right?
Yeah, I think that helped us as well. I mean, we also announced, in addition to the spaceships. You're right. I totally forgot about this. We had announced that staking was going to go live. It was like 10 days after we minted. We talked to our developers, and Ada Anvil. I'm going to give them a big shout out because they helped us a ton between the referral tool and then also moving up our staking launch. We had to, full disclosure, full transparency, we had to kind of alter the way that we were going to do staking a little bit for now to make it happen now. But we were willing to do that in order to show people like, no, we're ready. We have this set up and ready to go. We have the partnership, the connection. And if you mint us, you're getting into something immediately. You're not waiting 3 to 6 months. We're going to do what we said we're going to do. Yeah. And I think that helps push us over big time in this market.
Yeah, definitely. Because Ryan, because I even asked Ryan, I was like, "You're gonna stake? Like, wow! Like already? Like, what more can you tell us about? Maybe is what you were going to do like a future plan now, or just kind of has it changed completely? Your staking outlook for the project?
It's still a future. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, maybe like when you're staking right now. Let's talk about this. Like, get into the shells and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So. What we're doing now is temporary and it's going to change in the future. Right now we're, because of the way we minted out and then we had all this other stuff going on to try and catalyze our mint. We have we bit off a lot to chew, right now. And so we have a lot of stuff going on in this moment to try, to make sure that we make good on everything we said we would. And we're working on all of it. So when things kind of cool off a little bit, in the next, few weeks, couple of months, then we will be able to transition over to the other staking mechanism that we talked about, and maybe even sooner than that. We'll see, but we don't want to give any specific guidelines or timelines right now because it's working for us for the time being.
Yeah.
But we're not abandoning it. We're not abandoning that. We're continuing on with what we had originally talked about. And so right now, you can stake your otters. I think the second part of your question was just kind of talking about generally what it is, like what we're doing.
Yeah, I guess maybe even like the basics, like is it lockup? Are you giving your otters away or staying, like that, those kind of things?
Yeah. So right now we're doing non-custodial staking, which means your otters still get locked in a smart contract, but they stay in your wallet. You just cannot interact with them. You cannot break the contract or break the stake. But if you go to your wallet and pool.pm, your assets never leave your wallet. So right now we're doing it that way. In the future, we're going to move to what's called like a no lock harvesting system, which basically means your asset stays in your wallet. We can set a locking requirement, but we're just going to set it at 0 or 1 days essentially. And then there's a period after that of, if you don't interact with your asset, basically you don't list it, you don't sell it, you don't move it for 14 days or 20 days or whatever we pick, then you get some reward. And the longer that goes on, we can set different tiers. Like at 14 days, you get X reward. At 28 days, you get X reward plus, something else, and so on. We can kind of do that to incentivize not moving your asset. But at the same time, if you decide, hey, I'm done, we think that's in the spirit of Cardano. That's your choice to make, not ours. So we're not the biggest fan of locking your asset up because we just, we feel you should have control.
I love that. That's awesome. I didn't even know. What is it called? Not harvesting stake? What is it called? Non-locking harvesting?
Like a no-lock harvesting. Yeah, it's basically just like a harvesting. So the closest thing to it is like an off-chain, almost like an off-chain. I'm putting it in air quotes, staking, where it's not really staking. It's just kind of like token acquisition through vending machine.
Is it? I was gonna say, is it kind of like Cardano lands? What they're doing in a sense?
I'm not super familiar, so I wouldn't be able to answer that.
So so the way it works is I connect my wallet to the website, and then I guess they have a leaderboard, and I get points based on whatever projects are on the leaderboard. But I don't necessarily, they're staked, but they're not, I don't sign any contract. So I guess it's a little different maybe.
So it might just be, I don't know exactly what they're kind of reading or looking at, but you can, you can have like these off-chain staking where you just kind of like acquire token for holding an asset for a certain amount of time. That's all totally doable. And this way it just does it in a way where you still sign a contract, but then you're able to break it whenever you want.
Right.
And it's not locked. Yeah.
I just want to dial it back for 1 second with the staking, because I know there's the token, the shells and all that stuff. What are the different Otter professions? Because there's 5 of them, right?
Yeah. So Yeah, so we have 5 professions, and we loved coming up with these and adding these in, and they've given us quite a fun dynamic to the project, kind of like a gamified approach. But it also fits our story, it fits the lore, and it gives each otter type, each profession, its own kind of special utility and special role within the society and within your wallet, how you want to interact with our project. So we have the Otternauts. The first profession that's the most rare. The Otternauts are like our pilots of the Space Otter Society, and their benefit for holding them. So you can stake every otter. I'll just say that to start. You can stake every otter regardless of profession. The profession utility is a bonus. And the Otternauts can stake for more. So they get paid the most because they're the rarest. They have the hardest job. They're the most dangerous job. So they get paid almost 2 times the shells of a normal otter when you stake them. So normal otters get 10 per epoch, and Otternauts get 18. Then we have the profess otters. The profess otters are like our academics, our lawyers, our intellectuals and philosophers, things like that. And because of their kind of like renown within the society, they get a discount. So when you buy things with your shells, you get a 5% discount for holding 2 profess otters in your wallet.
I've been looking forward to hearing these pronunciations so much. That's why I'm like laughing my ass off, because I want to hear her says these.
No, I love it. And it's so funny. I've talked about them so many times. I can actually talk about them with a straight face now. And it's so
like
funny.
You're just like saying it. And I'm like, how does he? That's the one I didn't really. Yeah. Anyways, we'll just keep going.
Yeah, no, it's funny. It's funny to watch people's reactions when it's like the first time they're hearing about them. They're like, "You guys are weird. Like, what are you talking about?" But it's we have fun with it. Our next one are the technotters. So the technotters are like they're like the architects, the builders, the engineers of the society, and they have many jobs. One of their jobs is to refine precious metals, to create energy sources. So they actually give you an item called solar pearls. This is a fungible token, which is not a staking reward. This token you only get when we do royalty distribution. So every otter has a 7% royalty attached to it. When we hit certain numbers, which we're going to have the council, that role I was talking about at the beginning, that the council is going to vote on when and how this happens, then everyone will get pushed solar pearls based on their holdings. There's only a few ways to get these pearls in our project. So not everybody is eligible for royalty distributions. You have to have specific assets in order to be eligible. Then you can send in your solar pearls to win essentially some ADA rewards from these royalty distributions. The way that we want to do it, the reason we wanted to do it this way is because we felt it feels less impactful when everybody in the project gets a royalty, distribution, and you get like 2 ADA, which it's still nice. It's still always nice for a project to give back like that, but we wanted it to feel more impactful. So we made it exclusive. If that's what you want from the project, kind of passive income possibility, then you go for the technotters and you wait for us to have a royalty distribution. Every pearl that you can acquire, which there's a few ways to get them, every pearl you can acquire is 1 entry, and you can win more than once when you send them in. So it'll kind of be like a contest, but there's only a few ways to get them. So you have a very high chance of winning at baseline at least once.
Nice.
Nice. Okay.
The next ones are explotters. So explotters are like the adventurers, the adventuring types that they touch down on new planets and they check, what's going on this planet, and is it habitable? What can I find? And so they brought back this one item called the Galaxy Stone, which we've introduced the art and we've kind of talked a little bit about them, but in official means, I would say in an official capacity, the Space Otter Society has not found them yet, if that makes sense in the lore. And so when they do find these items, they are something of mystery, and it's basically like a swirling galaxy inside of a translucent kind of obsidian type stone. And they ended up using these stones as a form of like luxury currency amongst themselves, because they don't really know what it does yet or what it is. And, probably if you're familiar with the project at all, you know that kind of everything has been built into the story. So you'll know that it comes around again in the future. But what these stones allow you to do, they are a staking reward for holding exploiters and other things within the project. And you can use these to enter exclusive raffles. So these are essentially raffle tickets. They are going to have other uses as well in the future. But these are going to be used. You send them in, and every stone is one entry. So the more stones you can acquire, the more entries you have. And we are going to be doing at least once or twice per month kind of exclusive raffles for Galaxy Stone holders. The fun thing about it is, when you announce like a raffle on most other projects, it's kind of passive. Everybody just is like, okay, I'm entered because I'm part of the project. In ours, you have to send in your stones to say, I want to participate. So this does a couple things. One, sorry to say, if you're not paying attention, then you don't send in your stones. It makes it a better chance to win for those who are paying attention and who are engaged. Right. And two, if you've stacked your stones, like say the last couple of ones you didn't want to enter, you didn't like the NFT we were putting up or whatever the prize was. Well, now you're sitting on like 100 stones. You can enter all of them. Say we put up like, some really nice NFT for the next one, you can throw all of them in that one and try to win 100 entries.
And when they're sent in, they're done. They're burned. They're burned.
Yeah. So over time, these are going to get more valuable as they kind of go away.
I do have some. So I don't know if you saw, Devon, I shared it in the chat here for Zoom.
I was going to ask, is there one of these floating around like on Twitter? I think I've seen them.
I actually love it. I've been sitting there staring at it.
Okay.
So, but yeah, just so you get an idea. I mean, anyone.
I saw that like Piper shared one of these a while ago, and you guys retweeted it. So I saw that actually a while ago. And I was like, "What is this?" Actually, you know what? Embarrassingly, I thought that was the spaceship a couple days ago. I was like, "This is the spaceship," but no, it makes more sense now.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah,
that was before.
So that's kind of the advantage to holding the exploiters. And then the final profession is the artisans. The artisans are like your everyday citizen who do the normal jobs. They're also the military and kind of like defense structure of the society. Nice. And so by holding artisans, you can either hold 2 or 4. If you hold more than 4, you can still stake them, but you don't get any extra bonus. Anytime we have a contest or a mission in our Discord or in the project, you're eligible for increased rewards from those missions. So if you say, if you hold 4 artisans, for example, it's a 15% bonus. Say you win 100 ADA from a contest reward or from a mission reward, you would instead win 115 ADA just by holding those. So you get that 15% bonus to everything. And so definitely we can talk about missions later. That's a big part of what we're doing and what we've already kind of done pre-mint. That got us a lot of attention as well. But that's kind of the 5 main professions and how they interact with our ecosystem.
The fact that that the staking is available right now to connect to the professions and, kind of ties into this makes it like quite complex, like right away. Like this is pretty sweet. It's like stakeonomics, man. Like I like it. This is cool.
Yeah, I think we, and you can tell by the people who have ended up joining our community and supporting us and our biggest holders, you can tell they're all love the gamification. We love it. Like as we were developing the utility ecosystem, it became quite obvious that all 3 of us talking about it the most were, we're all like RPG gamers and stuff, and we're not trying to make a game, but at the same time, we enjoy those elements because it gives you something else to do with the NFT other than just having it sit there. This gives you a reason to kind of keep coming back and talking with the community, see what's going on. It gives you a reason to engage with the story. And it gives you a reason to care about your otters a little bit more than just something that sits there and looks nice.
Yeah.
Which there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, it's just kind of something fun, something fun for, and if you're a collector, I think it strikes that collector's chord pretty well. There's a lot of reasons to collect. Yeah.
Interesting. All right, cool. Where do we go from here? Did you know that sea otters have the thickest fur of any animal?
That I did not know. No, I didn't know that.
All right, guys, it's been a good podcast. Ryan, you can take it away from here.
I've been stumped. I was
like, I couldn't ask the question because if I said which animal has the thickest fur, you'd be like otters. So kind of said,
I was looking at these things that you have, and I was like, how would I word any of these?
Yeah, that one was tough. Yeah.
But
they're all kind of just like you just kind of say it. There's no more questions. But
he's just gonna randomly drop sea otter facts. Basically, is what he's got written down here.
I mean,
why is no one else excited about this? I'm very happy about this.
No, it's super fun. It's super fun. Yeah.
Take that back to the Discord, Ryan. Tell them it was yours.
Okay.
All right. Do we go shells or sorry, stones?
We talked about stones a little bit.
Yeah, stones. Yeah.
Have we talked about shells?
Well, we have talked about like you getting from staking, but I don't know. Like we didn't talk about like how they may or may not look. I don't know, the front and the back. That's in the kind of like the Git book breakdown. Do you know what I'm talking about, Chris?
Yeah. So
and like how they can be like carried, which is actually amazing. I was like, how did you you made this already? Like, this looks amazing.
Yeah, our 3D artist, his name is Glenn. In the Discord, his name's ADH Mater.
Gotcha.
He used to go by ADH Damon, and then he changed it to ADH Mater, which is awesome. I think actually we changed it for him one day as a joke, and he just loved it, and he never changed it back.
Nice.
We would go in and like edit everyone's nicknames to change their nickname to last, have the word otter in it, basically. So he came up with all that, and he's just one of these guys. When you give him an idea, we actually had a fan art contest and said, "Hey, we have a design in mind for our token, but to be blunt, we think you guys can do better. Like, see what you got." And one of our community members came up with that idea for the token, and it was his idea looked, the one that he came up with, like we would have been happy using it as is, because it was good. It was a good looking token. And we ended up giving that to our artist as inspiration. And he came up with that. What you see now is like the 3D, shell.
It looks amazing.
And I was going to say, just to have that kind of floating on like you say you have a nano frame, I would display that just as artwork on its own.
Yeah, he's a hard surface specialist. When you give him something like, the spaceship, the Galaxy Stone, when you're talking about doing something hard surface, he is incredible. I've never seen stuff like
These
that.
These look like photos. They look like photos of, like, you've already minted them, like metal medallions there. That's what they look like. That's how good they look.
Yeah, they're super good quality. And so, yeah, he put in some amazing work. And then, he's one of these guys. He's not only is he incredibly talented, but he works best when you just kind of tell him, like, hey, this is the concept. Like, whatever you come up with, we're going to use. Like, we're not gonna like fire back and say, no, we don't like this, we don't like that. He would ask for comments here and there, like, what do you guys think? But for the most part, whatever he sent, we were like, that is the best thing I've ever seen. He'd be like, oh, this is like a low res, like crappy draft that I'm not planning on using. We were like, oh, oops, but it still looked amazing. And then every time he would send a new sneak peek to us, we got more and more excited, because we were like, holy crap, this is gonna change what people expect from their artwork in this space. People are gonna see this stuff coming from us nonstop, and we hope that this, gets him the attention that he deserves, but also helps us, push forward in the space right now.
Yes. Oh, on the one that's the back, I zoomed in and I didn't even see that the otter is like cradling the shell. That's cool. I just noticed that when you zoomed in.
Yeah, and there's other little Easter eggs in there too, like the 5 stars represent the 5 professions. There's like an astral map that shows the space otters like going through. It's basically representative of the space otters going through space. There's all kinds of detail that he put into those that fit into our lore, and just absolutely incredible level of detail that only the artist's mind would pick up on if you don't say it.
I can't believe it.
I'm not even gonna lie. It looks like a Canadian toonie as well.
that's funny.
So I love it even more.
It does. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't pick up on that. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. No more artifacts. Let's talk about the art. Right?
What?
I would just add to the main thing that you can use your shells for is to buy NFTs from our storefront. So we're actually in the process we're actually in process of kind of getting that started right now. The first step for us is basically asking our community, hey, what do you guys want us to buy and put in there? Right. We have some limitations on there because our mint price was 65 ADA and we only had a supply of 3750. So we can't stock it full of 500,000 ADA worth of NFTs or anything. But we've created an ecosystem which will sustain for people to be able to get these over time. And so you can stake your otters and you get shells, and then you can use the shells to buy these NFTs. There's other things you're going to be able to use shells for as well in the ecosystem. But this is kind of the main draw, is that you can just buy NFTs and we don't care what you do with them after. You can flip them, sell them for ADA, whatever you want to do. It's up to you.
Are those that are in the, I guess, I don't know, marketplace that you guys create, are those going to be like special editions? Are they going to be of the initials or other supplies? Like what's the plan there?
We're going to be, it's going to be other Cardano NFTs. So for the most part, we do have some plans to put, some of our own stuff in there in the future, that, fun things that don't necessarily have any utility or use other than looking cool or being some cool asset you can own. But we are otherwise going to be putting in tons and tons of Cardano NFTs, that our community votes on and wants us to buy and then put in there.
I thought it was going to be, I thought it was specifically this just Space Otter NFTs, but
no, yeah, we just put out for the council to vote or to start sending proposals, and we've had the floodgates open, I would say, for 24 hours, and we already have over 40 proposals from council members as to what projects we should look into and what projects we should buy.
I have to add another one, I guess. I got to put my proposal in.
Yeah, go for it.
But do we
what
have
do you think it's going to be? Or what do you have in mind?
Well, don't worry about that. You'll have to read my proposal.
Why not?
Oh, wait, you won't because you're not in the council. But also, do we have a special or a fun name for the marketplace yet?
Not yet. So right now we're just calling it Ottermart. But once this kind of while we are digesting the massive number of proposals that we have, that's going to be the next thing that we put out to you guys, the community, and say, hey, while we're working on this part, because we have a lot of reading and homework to do now, you guys have some fun and come up with a fun and interesting name for the Ottermart. And so same way we came up with the name for the council, I will be besides myself if it ends up being called the Ottermart. I will lose it because we started with the council, and then after 4 days of discussion and 20 options and 4 days of voting, it ended up being called the council.
I like the name from the get-go, and I'm one of the people that kept voting for it.
Yeah, that's fine. No, that's fine. It cracked me up though, because I just saw people's heads spinning when some people were getting so upset. They were like, "Oh my god!" After all this work, it's going to be the council again. So I'll laugh if it ends up being the Ottermart. I'll laugh so hard.
That's great.
But yeah, it's going to be up to you guys to name it and kind of come up with that aspect.
Awesome. So I guess let's get to Devon's favorite part.
You guys don't want to do another otter fact? We got a couple more here.
The fact.
I would love to.
Okay, go hit it, Devon.
Okay, so a lot of times, mammals will have offspring at certain times of the year. Spring is usually when all the animals are born, because then they got to be able to get healthy so they can survive the winters in North America or whatnot. Otter pups can be born at any time of year. Otters are always down to have a good time. So it's pretty important for being in space, I guess. I don't know.
I like it.
Yeah. All right.
That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool, actually, because there's always a season.
I handpicked this, by the way. There were others, but I was like, no, not good enough.
There's always a season for every other animal, and so that's pretty interesting.
Here's my random fact that I didn't look up, and I'm pretty sure is true, that otters hold hands when they sleep.
Oh, that'd just be super cute.
I'm pretty sure if you look it up, otters hold hands.
I know that. That's 100% true.
So,
did you know that, Chris?
No, I didn't know that. That's super cute.
Nice.
See? You guys are schooling me up today. You guys are schooling me up.
Random dumb information that's in this head for some reason.
All right, guys, we're done. We're done talking about the project. Let's just go into otter facts.
No. I want to hear about Devon's take on the art for the project.
Sure. So wait, what?
Devon, let's talk about the art. You love it.
Okay. So let's talk about the art. Ryan, first of all, you're an asshole. I don't know why you're loving this so much. Chris is here on the podcast, such a great guy, talking about all those parts of the project. And it's actually really fucking cool. And if you're a guest if you're listening on the last episode, we were talking about the otters, and Ryan was like, I'm going to hop into this, I'm going to ape into this. And I was just like, fuck these animals. I don't want any more animal NFTs. I don't like these otters. I don't like this project. And Ryan's like, I don't know, I'm gonna go into it.
But my argument was he loves space. Everything,
so
like he loves space stuff. So it's like, well, so now you hate the animal, but you love the fact that they're doing space. He's conflicted.
So that's why he wants to throw it over to me, because he knew that I kind of got mad at that. So this actually happened earlier on too. I kind of realized that when the animals are 3D, I seem to like them, but when they're not 3D, I don't like them. But then everything that has to do with space, I do like. And then it made me kind of mad. But this is all a me thing, this has nothing to do with you. So I think having you on the podcast, he was just like, you know what, Devon, you're gonna have to tell the creator to space that you kind of don't like his otters. But that's not entirely true. So either way, let's talk about the art in a real way, not this Devon's conflicted way that Ryan has set him up to have to disclose. So Chris, great project. The space is amazing. Otters are actually pretty cool. I've lined up all these otter facts. I'm definitely in a place where I'm like, I don't want to see a whole lot more animals. But when animals are 3D, I tend to love it. But that being said, the art of this project is good. Edwin, I think, is that your artist, or is it ADH?
Yeah. We have our 2D artist who did the otter set. That's Edwin. And then ADH did the 3D assets for us.
Okay. So, I mean, I haven't even seen all the 3D assets. I mean, actually, I've seen the spaceship and the Pearl, which I thought was a spaceship. Spaceship looks really fucking cool. I like how it opens and closes. Kind of reminds me of Star Trek.
Spaceships.
Yeah.
Well, that's fucking cool. And then it has this like warp drive kind of deal to it. But here's the thing. The artwork is good. The 2D artwork is good. It's very high quality.
You just hate the fact that it's an animal.
If you go to the site too, you can see it like really close up when it's like, the otternauts like in the water thing. It's actually cool. I like the style of it. But
it's a long-winded like, hey,
I'm just mad.
Why'd you choose an otter?
Why did you choose otters? Why did you choose otters?
So we originally the original founder. So there's three of us, but the main founder, we call him the founder. And I would just add for people's own enjoyment, we all joke around about firing each other about 1,000 times a day. If I show you our string of conversation, it's literally like 2 lines of serious talk and then all of us firing each other over and over again as the day goes on.
We totally get that. Right before we started the podcast, Ryan's like, do you want to quit? Because we always ask each other that. Like we've been doing that every week for weeks. And I was like, Ryan, we can't say that to each other. Like, he's like, yeah, okay. And then he's like, yeah, I quit. And like,
it's so fun. And we'll be like, you're fired. And then the other person will be like, oh, thank God, I can get out of this shitty otter project now. And so we just like joke around about it all the time. We have so much fun with it. So it sounds like we're the same. Yeah, it sounds like we're the same. So the original founder who kind of got us all together, and it was his idea to begin with, Aaron, he goes by Rargi in the Discord. He kind of said that, otters were his favorite animal growing up. He always felt that they were like super playful, like family and community oriented, kind of tricksters, and and like everybody loves them. And he felt that those like qualities kind of resonated, with him. And so he wanted to use them for this like kind of PFP style. But then the kind of idea of the space component was like, what if, the fun component of like, what if they were the dominant species on the planet instead of humans, but they faced the same type of this adorable, cute, furry, loving creature faced the same type of serious issues that like humans faced.
With that crippling debt, right? Crippling debt.
Yeah, they don't have enough shells.
Yeah.
No, so they, and kind of the reason that the otters are going into space is because this group of otters is actually leaving Earth because the planet is succumbing to nuclear war. And so they're leaving to escape nuclear war and start a new home, a new society kind of amongst the stars. They don't have a destination. They don't know where they're going. They just know if they stay, they're doomed. And actually right before we minted, there was kind of this like alien messaging. I don't know if you looked at this, Ryan, since you said you joined kind of late. If you go to Captain's Log, you'll kind of see the entry about it. But we had a whole mission before we minted that was like the prequel, how the otters kind of why they decided to launch into space now, and where they're, where, and they don't know where they're going, but they were kind of reached out to by this other group of beings. They don't really know who or why, but they predicted they were going to be attacked. And so Captain Atari, who's like the leader of the space program, he decided to launch into outer space right now, and kind of get away from this attack.
I
and so
did not see this, so now I
yeah,
have
and then
to check it out.
they were basically transmitted like a map, and the community went through this mission. It was a individual event first, where they had to go through like a series of rooms, and each person went through like their own experience. You had to read, some passages. There were images to look at, and then you had to figure out all of these puzzles essentially to make it through. If you made it through that, you were eligible to go to the live event where, these beings were kind of actively interacting with the Otter Society. And the community got, I think there were like 9 puzzles, and they got like 7 or 8 out of 9 correct. They all worked together during this to get them. They had a time limit, and if they didn't get it in the time limit, then they just got it wrong. And depending on the number that they got correct, the map that they got at the end, which they didn't know this till the end, the map they got at the end would be less or more distorted and more difficult to read. So they ended up
like March or something.
No, just in August. Yeah, just in August, like right before we minted. So yeah, so they got this map that you can see now in the Captain's Log channel, and that's going to kind of be part of the starting point of some of the missions in the near future. And yeah, that was like a super long answer to your question of why otters, but it kind of like flows into this. We chose them. They were chosen kind of initially as like a haha, it would be cute, and then it morphed into a very like let's treat it like they're humanoids, and they have the same problems and the same kind of destiny that humans share. What can they get into in the future?
Well, let's hope you're not predicting the future. We have to blast off into space.
Well, we're already. That's what Elon thinks.
Yeah, I was just saying, SpaceX, save us.
That's okay. That's everything your friend, everything that the founder said about the otters. That's true. Otters are quite playful animals. They like harass crocodiles and stuff. So it makes sense. I dig it.
Yeah, they're fierce too. I don't know if you guys have ever looked up like otter attacks. If you haven't, it's super worth going on YouTube. They defend their territory, and they'll chase you and it's scary because some of the otter species are big, and they'll like hunt you down. They'll come after you.
Listen, I'll tell you both right now. I will fuck an otter up if it comes after me.
So we had a couple people like when we posted their professions, and we said the Ottersons are like the military arm, and like they'll be if they need to defend the society, hint hint, wink wink. Yes. That they would be play an important role, and we had a couple of people be like, "Oh, otters they don't fight, they don't fight back." And I would just only respond with replies of YouTube links to like otter attacks, and I would just be like, "If you keep saying shit like that, you're next." Don't.
That's great.
There's another otter fact. Now this is kind of in the vein of what you're talking about. It's kind of bad though. Otters have been known to attack baby animals of other species and there's no other way to say this, and rape them. So yeah.
Oh God, I don't like that fact. That's not good.
Otters rape baby seals.
Interesting.
I didn't make the rules. I was going to run off, but we're going about how they actually are pretty they're pretty vicious. They are. All right, don't worry. The rest of the facts are pretty good. They're
you cutting in and out, Devon. I don't know if it's my audio or your audio, but you cutting in and out a little bit.
All right.
Just so you know. Okay, so did you guys? I'm trying to think of how the hell to word this. Did you guys have the collab? Because I noticed you guys had a lot of. I don't even know would it be companions in the little.
Yeah.
The helmets. There's the Happy Hoppers. There's I think there's one jelly. I haven't looked at. Yeah, there's a whole bunch. Is that kind of collabs or just like a shout out to the projects?
A lot of them are collabs. So we have 5 or 6. Let me look. We have 6 partner projects, 5 of which we used a collab trait from. And then we have two extra collab trades that were not like formal partnerships.
Okay.
So some of them, the ones that are formal partnerships, and you can see which ones that are, you can go to our partnerships channel. It's the Seal Society, the Cheeky Unts, the Happy Hoppers, Proxies, and those AMAs. Those are our like official partner projects. And basically we talked to them, well in advance, and we showed them what we were working with, what we were creating. And we said, hey, if you guys will, take a chance on us and help us build our community by talking to your community about us, we're going to put this trait in our collection, and your holders. So if people hold, like, for example, a Happy Hopper and they hold an Otter with the Happy Hopper trait, they will get an extra bonus in our utility ecosystem. And really all we asked of the, projects was, hey, just, we're going to ask you to, maybe tweet about us, retweet some of our stuff, and try to just build our base up organically, with people that, like your project and will hopefully like ours for some of the same features. And so, that was kind of the main reason there. And then there were just a couple, like, we did like a Yummy collab trait. We asked them for permission to use the Yummy. And, we all love the chunky, like little big chunky fat Yummy. Looks like he's breathing really heavy, stuffed in his little spacesuit. And so we love that. And then looks like there should be lots of fog on the front of that helmet.
Yes.
And then we've got the jelly cubes too. So we talked with Block is Hot. I don't know if you guys have ever chatted with him, but Jason's super nice guy. And we, he had us I went and talked in his Discord to his community, and he was just like nothing but supportive the whole time. Awesome. Basically at the end of our chat with his community, he said like, hey, I'm planning to mint this project. And, and like, as soon as we got off the Discord call with his community, like 100 or 150, Block investor group people joined us immediately. It was insane. The showing of support and like how he can drive his community, with that type of call to action. And we were super thankful. So we had prepared a Jelly Cube trait and said, hey, do you want us to use this? If it's okay with you. And he was like, oh, hell yeah, man, that looks awesome. So we went ahead and used it. It's like the space themed Jelly Cube. So we had a lot of fun with that one too.
I'm butthurt about Jelly Cubes because I screwed up my mint.
I did too.
I had a whitelist from Freedom 35er's Discord and just forgot about it. I forgot. Yeah. I didn't know what the hell it was, and then they were minting. Oh well.
No, I did too. Actually, I had a whitelist. There was a long time ago in his Discord where he just put out like an announcement with no ping, and it just said, "Hey guys, click this button. I'm testing something." And it was just like a button, and when you clicked it, it gave you the role. It gave you a role in his Discord called Taco. Yes, and I was like, okay, and I just clicked it. And I didn't even usually check his Discord that regularly. I just happened to be checking it that day, and I got the whitelist role. And then that day that they were minting, I was watching both of I was watching my kid, and he was just having a really rough day. He's like a 2-year-old. Yeah, he was just having a really rough day. And all of a sudden, it was like 20 minutes after the whitelist mint, and I was like, crap. I just remembered, and so I jumped on and like tried to send the transaction anyway, and like of course just got refunded and a nice little slap on the back and said, good try, buddy.
Yeah, watch that ADA just float away.
Yeah, I was like, nice. Damn it, it's okay.
It happens. That's all right. No, I like all the little companions, I'll call them, but they're fun. It was fun seeing them as they were getting minted too. Damn jelly cubes, still hurts, but I guess. What do you want to go to the next question, Devon?
Yeah, you go.
Or is there anything that you would like to talk about? I guess.
Yeah, Chris, it's kind of open floor.
Open floor for you, buddy.
I guess the big thing for us going forward is to try and get new people to come see the Discord. So we've already, even had people ask like, hey, how are you guys planning to, try to incorporate new folks to see the project, hear about the project. And we plan to do that through our, through our missions, and then also through people hearing about and seeing that you can get just Cardano NFTs in our mart by holding Otters. And so we think both of those will be big draws. We kind of talked about the level of detail and effort that went into that first mission. You can expect something similar in all of them. where it's going to be like this interactive story element that you actually participate in. But it's done in such a way where, like, if that's not your thing and you don't want to do that, you're not going to be like penalized. You're not going to you're not going to like not be able to get something just because of that. So you can always stake your otters and just kind of hang out that way. But if that's kind of your thing, then that'll be a very fun, engaging thing for people to do. Especially in the bear market, it's like entertainment kind of in a way to kind of hang out in NFT land and do something with a community that instead of just kind of like the typical, which nothing wrong with, but the typical like, hey, let's play poker, let's play Gartic, let's play these games and stuff. This is like a unique storyline event. So we're really proud of those, and we'll have a lot of fun with those going forward. Yeah,
that's awesome. That stuff gets pretty dry in Discord now. The rumbles and the Gartic, and it's good to. We got to refresh. We got to do something in the Discord. So I'm glad to see what you guys come up with.
What does secondary look like? Because with everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of people are staking, so they're holding on to them, right? Like, what have you seen? Have you seen that, like, the second? Because, like, I'm not in it, right? I hate Otters. I hate your project. I hate you. So like, now I'm getting FOMO because Ryan's like, well, I'm getting a spaceship, and I love spaceships. So it's like, what if I wanted to ape in? What's my options look like?
Well, I'm sorry to tell you, you're going to hate me even more right now, but you cannot get a spaceship anymore unless you buy one. Yeah. But, I'm sure some people will be selling them. You can definitely buy one. So let's talk about, what does secondary look like? 5.7% listed on JPEG, very low percent.
Not a lot.
80% plus staked right now, which is super high. Most projects are around 30 to 50% staked. So yeah, we have a lot of big holders, a lot of diamond hands right now. Getting their spaceships and then holding to see what is going to be in the Otter Mart. And some people are such big whales with us; they're going to be able to get NFTs within just a few epochs. They're not going to have to wait long to be able to start getting some of these. So that's what's going on right now. We never had like a big pump or anything after mint, which we're fine with. Our goal was to mint out so we can fund the project, do all the things we wanted to do. And, it's still a good price right now for people to kind of hop in and enter, because the way that we're doing our utility, there comes a point in time, right, where if an Otter costs 500 ADA just to get one, and you're getting a certain amount of shells for it every epoch, is it worth it to stake it to get NFTs from our storefront? And so there's a fine line where, the answer eventually is probably going to be no. And so, we like our price point right now because it allows people to kind of get in at a good price point and be able to stake and have it be worthwhile, over that time. And we think that people that are holding, regardless of the floor price, they see the value that they're getting, because they know that they're going to be able to use their shells and get those NFTs soon, which is pretty fun. So we've been liking that. Yeah.
Interesting how just shifting your timelines or your execution on the staking and like some of the things you wanted to do, bringing them forward has kind of changed the dynamic and the responsibility of the project. Like 80% stake, like we really can't gloss over that. That's a big deal. That's like locking in project longevity, but like kind of destroys the secondary market. But it's like those that know, if you're in, you're in. You know what I mean? Like you can create something pretty cool.
Yeah, we agree. We our dev partners, when we asked them for that statistic, we were like, hey, we wanted, we're curious, like how staked are we? And this was after just like a couple of days of staking being launched. It could be more by now. It probably is, but we haven't asked for an update. They told us, they were like, hey, we're going to get back to you. We're just rechecking our script over and over because we think there's a mistake. And then after they checked it, a bunch of times, they were like, no, you guys are over 80%. They were like, that's crazy. It's usually they do a lot of staking for other projects. They've been involved on the dev side of staking for a lot of projects. And they kind of were the ones who informed us that, typical is like 30%, right around, is more realistic, when a project offers staking. So it's not as high as people think. Everyone thinks it's usually closer to like 100, but it's really not.
I think that's staking is higher for like straight DeFi token stuff, but like NFT wise, no, it's going to be different. Wow, this is really cool. Really cool. And also, one other thing that I would like to say about art, Ryan, the backgrounds are cool. The backgrounds, like
I'm looking at this one. I'm looking at the one. So for anyone that's interested, the floor price right now is 40 ADA, but it jumps right to 44 after this one sold. But the background on this one was actually pretty. It's like the stars in the background. You can see the Space Otter like symbol like faded a little bit in the background with the clouds. Cool. It's really cool, actually.
You got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, so even though Edwin made all the 2D, he made all the Otters, Aaron, the founder, the original founder, he's the one who made the backgrounds. So that was kind of, he's like the art director, so he coordinates among all the artists and kind of makes sure he's the one who made sure, the art was all up to snuff and everything. And he's the one who made those backgrounds. So super cool. I think that's a lot of people's favorite talking point, or one of their favorite talking points, because it definitely is a unique, not just the typical like blue, red, orange.
I was going to say there's not one boring background.
There's one that's actually, sorry.
They're all colorful. Like there's always something going on. It's not just a plain background.
Ryan, look at 01390. That background's fucking cool.
013.
I've been scrolling for a while. Sorry?
013. Let me just look it up.
It's the attribute. It would be I don't know. It's an Explorer, but that's not count.
What's the number?
01390.
90.
Yeah,
right, let's look
that's cool.
That's one of the ones I have. It's like it's similar. It's like you're in a spaceship, or you're in like the holding dock or whatever.
Yeah, that one's actually called Captain Atari's office. So that's like that's like the spaceship, background. Yeah, where you're like on board the spaceship.
Yeah, I think
that one's really rare too. That one, I'm pretty sure that one's super rare.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I got my Otternaut has that background. So
wow, I think that's a pretty killer combo then. Yeah.
Let me check Ryan's wallet.
You want me to share it with you? I can send it.
Yeah, send it. I didn't check because I was butthurt.
You know what's funny? I have never even looked, because I guess, are you guys on? I guess there's rankings and stuff like CNF tools and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're listed on CNFT tools, and we use that as our official rankings. If you have a top 300 Otter, so kind of more element of collectability here. If you have a top 300 Otter, you actually get a lot of benefits for that. It gets increased staking rewards, and every top 300 gets Galaxy Stones, regardless of its profession. And every top 300 will also be eligible for Solar Pearls, the passive income potential when we do those. So the top 300 are pretty well coveted as well because of their kind of cross profession utility.
Oh, I just went on. Rank 1 to 5 is classified.
Yeah. So those are our one of ones, and they are right now not revealed, and we are going to be revealing them. There's a story reason why they're not revealed, which will become very obvious when we launch our next mission.
That's cool.
And they will be revealed at the end of that mission. We know people want to see them. Trust me, we want to show them to people because they are not like the rest of the collection. So we really want people to see them.
I like that.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I know people hate
that slow reveal thing. I love it. I mean, it's not like you're going to carry it on for 2 months, but I like the reveal stuff. Honestly.
Yeah. We are not, on a personal level too. I would say we're not the biggest fans of that style, where it's done for no reason, right? Like I would say if it's just done to do it, to like try and it's kind of like a fake hype event, I think the NFT space is getting tired of hype events. Like the amount of hype mints that were going on 4 or 5 months ago, it was like every mint was a super hype mint.
Yep.
There were like 10 a week. Now it's like 1 or 2 a month. There's still a couple that kind of rely completely on hype, right? Like there's no roadmap before mint. There's no really anything before mint, and they just get, they just do a really good job marketing, and they get, hyped up.
Yep.
But I think that the days of doing that easily are over. And so, and the gimmicks that were typically being used, and this could be one of them, right? Like the reveals of stuff right after, those are kind of gimmicky, but we decided to do it for a specific storyline reason. And so it'll make sense when we kind of say why it happened, and it'll make perfect sense. And then in this case, we think it's worth the wait because I know what they look like, and I want all 5 of them.
There you go. Exactly. That's I love that. I don't know. It's it is very gimmicky now, but
that stuff, those gimmicks aren't going to last.
They're not going to because
long enough. Like they're fading out here quicker than elsewhere.
Well, here's the thing: we're getting into the space where people have been in this space now for a year. So you know what I mean? Like now people are kind of picking up on. Not to say that there's not newcomers coming in, but there's been a lot of people now in this space for the last year. We've kind of seen everything that we've seen is kind of getting old. So it's like now people are trying to do different things. So we'll see where the next, I guess, year takes us.
I got another question for you, Chris.
Yeah.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite what?
Food.
My favorite food?
Ryan said otters.
Just sticking with the theme. You have a favorite go-to meal?
So
it's your birthday. What are we buying you for your birthday? What's your favorite meal?
No, that's a fair question. I'm gonna jump. My mind always will jump to sushi, I think.
Oh,
so
nice.
I actually lived in Japan for a couple of years. Oh. It's where I met my wife. She's Mexican. She's not Japanese. I have to say that.
That's hilarious because that's exactly what we're thinking, right?
Yeah, I know. Everyone would be like, "Oh, he has a Japanese wife." Like, no, she's Mexican. And so, but we were both living over there for a little while, and I fell in love with all Japanese food. Oh my God, it's so good. So, we would go out and eat anything and everything, try it all. But I think sushi is probably my go-to. If I could have one thing for the rest of my life and never get sick of it would be, sushi.
I feel like an otter would say that.
I think it's appropriate. Yeah, I think it's appropriate.
I hate you.
Oh man, Ryan hates me. Well, I don't know. I don't like. This project's all right. It's all right. Pretty good. I like it. Chris, it's a good project. What?
Stupid. Oh man, I love it. I gotta for once. Maybe I'll deep dive. Mind you, this is basically a deep dive at this point.
It's a good project. Yeah.
Devon, have you been turned? Are you an Otter fan? You gonna buy some floor stuff?
Yeah, I'm an Otter fan. It's a good project. It is.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
It's great. It's well executed. I'm very impressed by the way you guys looked at what else was happening, and the tactics you have used, and you used multiple tactics, have paid off in spades. And 2D animal art aside, everything else is pretty spot on. I'm not just saying that. I don't care if I hated it, Chris. I would have to keep saying I hated it. I don't. It's cool. I just hate it.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. That's funny. No, I'm glad we could convert you. It's one of these things like this space, right? Like just like this conversation we're having right now, I learned pretty quickly into the genesis of this project. Like I think I learned probably one of the most important lessons about the Cardano space when we released our white paper. For us, releasing our white paper was this huge event, right? We'd worked on it for like weeks, months. We were, we had it all looking the way we wanted. We had it, worded the way we wanted. Like every detail was looked at. Even if you go and read it now, I don't know if you guys have, but if you do, you'll see that there's entries from like Captain Atari specifically. It's like there's like lore entries. Our community actually voted on what the name of the white paper was going to be, and depending on the name that they chose, it was going to be worded a different way. And they chose Captain's Log. So it's written through the lens of the Captain's Log, like Captain Atari writing these passages about what's going on. But I learned very quick. And so this was like this huge event for us. We dropped it. I don't know how many people read it, but it wasn't as many as I anticipated. And I can laugh about it now. Yeah, thank you. I think so too. Because I was like, man, okay, this is going to show like our drive, our professionalism, our, what we plan to execute. And then like people would just pop in the Discord and, we'd be like, oh yeah, it's in the white paper. And they would just be like, I don't want to read that. Like they would just say it. They would just be super blunt. They'd be like, I don't want to read that much. And it's like, it's not that much. It's like four tabs that you click through. And they're pretty, like, some of them are kind of longer, but most of them are pretty brief.
No, pretty good. I read it. I actually did. So that's good.
Yeah. It's like, it's not a crazy length, but anyway, what I learned, because you were talking about the tactics that we used. And I think this was a defining moment for us because we all learned from this, which is maybe our way of communicating everything that we plan to do about our project was in our white paper. It was written down and we thought that would be good enough. But we realized very quickly we were not going to reach as many people as we wanted to with that alone. So we started really getting on like Twitter Spaces. I mean, I went on, I don't even know how many, probably 20 Twitter Spaces before we launched, and would just talk about our project. I went on WinMint. I went on CNFT Shark Tank. I went on all these things, and I was basically like the salesman, the spokesman for the project, and I think that helped a lot. Just kind of communicating that like one-to-one communication sometimes is, because that one person can invite 10 friends if they really like it, and so when we started to look at it that way, it was like, okay, we need to make a connection. We need to actually connect with people, kind of like we're talking right now. And we converted you. It works. It works.
I'm just gonna point out, Devon, you have a spaceman above your shoulder, but I'm just to point out that's how much you love space.
That's true. You can. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Are we going to see anyone from the team at CNFT Con?
No. So we had not anticipated doing that this year. I think if things are still going well, next year we'll definitely be there.
Okay.
I don't see any reason why we wouldn't be.
You make sure you bring in a live otter with you though.
Oh yeah,
that's like bringing a puppy or a baby to the mall. Everyone's coming to you.
Can you imagine? Yeah, that's actually a brilliant idea. I'll have to go to like SeaWorld and be like, can I borrow, Vincent the otter for a day or whatever? Like,
I have a friend that's an animal keeper at a zoo, so I'll put in a good word and see if we can borrow it.
Fine. Next time you go to you should ask her to like get a photo with the otter. Drop that in the Discord. You're king for
nice. Nice.
Good point. I'm going to do that actually.
Yeah.
Text him tomorrow and be like, listen, I'm bringing the kids to the zoo.
And let me know when you're bringing the family. I'll show up.
He won't. But anyways, it's fine.
I went apple picking.
Touche. He did go apple picking, folks.
Okay. All right. Back to. Well, actually, I think that's all I got. Yeah. I don't know.
I think that's all. Yeah. You know what? I hadn't read the white paper because I'm not even going to lie. I never read anything. I just have to go on, do the research, and then
I read the stuff and don't get into this.
I'm in the spaces. I see what's going on. So, and I'm kind of, my pulse is on there. So I'm like, I got the gist of most everything. But the white paper is actually like beautiful.
It is.
Clicking everything, like it's very well done. And so yeah, shout out to you guys for fucking
website too.
I'm glad I aped into this project. So shout out to
I am too, Ryan. I am too.
But is there anything I guess you want to end off with there, Chris? At all?
No, we've got a couple exciting things coming up in the short term. So one is the people who got had their correct assets as of last Friday, the 9th. They are going to be getting their spaceship soon. So probably within the next week. We hope even sooner, earlier rather than later, but we'll see how things are going. But yeah, we're looking forward to that for everyone to get those drops. That's going to be super fun.
And that's not an airdrop, right? It's going to be a claim.
Yeah.
Setup.
So we this is one of the things that Ada Anvil has set up with us with our staking platform. Is it's called like a claims portal.
Yeah.
And this gives us a lot of unique capability because we don't have to pay the cost for airdrop.
It's much cheaper.
Yeah. And actually they're in the next week or so, we're going to be transitioning to their Discord bot for role verification. And it gives us the capability, same as what we're doing with the spaceships, but basically like say you have a certain role in our Discord, like your role as the Space Otter Society Council.
Yeah.
Say at the end of a mission, we say all of the people with Space Otter Society Council role. will get the following reward. We can just push that to your claims through the bot. It's connected to the staking platform, so we can just push those rewards to your claims, and you can go pick them up, and it doesn't cost anything. It just costs, it doesn't cost. It's usually like 2 to 3 ADA per airdrop, which over time is a significant cost to a project if you're dropping 400 or 500 NFTs at a time or whatever.
Yep,
that's a lot. So pretty cool capability. We've got that coming up. We've got our first mission coming up, and the 1-of-1 reveal, and the Otter Mart opening. And a lot of fun voting and conversation amongst our big holders. So having a lot of fun in the Discord coming up soon.
Perfect. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
I guess I only have one last question. What animal has a lung capacity that is 2.5 times greater than of any other animal of the same size?
Oh, the same size. Interesting. I was going to say it's got to be some kind of whale, right? Before you said that part.
No. It's a mammal.
I have no idea.
It is the otter. Oh,
it's the otter. I mean, I felt like, see, you that was like straight human psychology. I was like, the answer is not going to be otter.
It's too obvious.
That would be way too obvious. So don't say otter. It's a trap. And then it was otter.
Yeah.
Well played.
No, it's a cat.
I'm like, gotcha. Anyways, guys, this has been Non-Fungible Guys. We've been hanging out with Chris from Space Otter Society. Pretty cool project, kind of blowing the doors off the bear market, using a number of tactics to kind of make this awesome project, awesome community. Ryan's part of it. I'm fine with that. I don't feel any feelings about that at all. Chris, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Really like how you kind of explained things so well. And I don't know, man. Ryan, you got anything else?
No, thank you for coming on the episode, and can't wait to see what you guys are up to.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a great time to talk to you guys. You guys are good hosts. It's like more of a conversation than an interview, so that's awesome. And really appreciate the fun, attitude and atmosphere. Super fun time.
Awesome. And the otter facts.
And the otter facts. Yeah, the otter facts were key.
Teaching these kids out here. Teaching them.
All right. That's it. You made it this far. Thank you. NFGs. We out. All right. Don't worry.
I was going to say we're professed otters. Oh, man.